last week, a disturbing video went viral on X, receiving millions of views, showing a woman who I honestly didn't think was a real person, but after looking into it, I found out this is a real person. She was tragically botched in a cosmetic procedure decades ago, and is now 71 years old. She apparently got this done when she was in the middle of her, prime fame, and was promised a collagen injection, and unfortunately got scammed by some quack con artist. But let's take a look at that video to show them what I mean, because I genuinely thought this was AI generated. I did not think this was a real video.
Trigger alert.
This is actually what she looks like.
I don't know if the music's gonna get us copyrighted. So I don't know what she's saying either.
Yeah, she doesn't speak English.
That head is ginormous.
This is just like terrifying.
Yep.
Absolutely terrifying. And I feel so bad for her, but at the same time, people should see situations like this so that they think before they inject stuff into their face and they don't even know what it is or what it does.
Yeah.
And it's stories like this that they should be aware of. This woman used Botox because she feared aging and has started a discussion about the dangers of beauty standards online. Yep. So her name is Lin May, and she's known by her stage name. She is a Mexican exotic dancer and actress, one of the most popular Mexican cabaret dancers during the 70s and 80s, a sex symbol, and stars in hundreds of movies, TV shows. I just want to show you what she used to look like to emphasize how tragic this truly is, because she was a gorgeous woman. And obviously, like, that was why she became so famous. Is this, like, she just was like gorgeous, totally had a natural face until, due to a fear of aging, she started getting cosmetic procedures. She started getting cosmetic surgeries on her cheekbones and her jawline, and just continued spiraling further from there. This says the pursuit of beauty has not been without its challenges. Initially, Lin May sought to enhance her facial features through cosmetic procedures, but one of her attempts went horribly wrong and continues to haunt her. Lin was approached by a con artist in the 1990s who promised to rejuvenate her appearance. Young and naive, she fell for his pitch, and instead of receiving the collagen injections she was promised, a common and temporary treatment for smooth skin and reduced wrinkles, Lin May was instead injected with cooking oil, baby oil, or water in her face. The result was the unsightly lumps that remain on her face until this day. In her 30s, she turned to plastic surgery in hopes of correcting the damage that was done. And unfortunately, the situation worsened before it got better. The surgeon managed to remove a small portion of the oil that was injected into her face, but it still left permanent effects after the fact.
Yeah. I mean, there was nothing that could be done at that point.
Yeah. And I remember, like, I think Jeffree Star talked about something similar that happened to him when he started getting lip injections. Someone lied to him and injected his lips with actual silicone instead of just the normal Juvederm filler that it dissolves and migrates on its own. And now it's like it turned out to solidify and like migrate into different parts of his mouth, and he had to get it surgically removed. Like, this stuff, I find it hard to believe because it's become so common since the 90s and even since the 2000s to get this type of stuff done.
Yeah.
But people still get botched, and
there's a whole television show about it.
Yeah, like it still happens to people, and I can't imagine like why a woman who was so naturally beautiful even thought that she needed to change anything anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it just goes to show how much neuroticism goes in, especially when you get famous, right? And you're looking back at images of yourself every day. It's a very, very powerful thing. Is this the lady who dug up her husband?
Yeah, that's
this lady?
I think she's quite mentally disturbed.
Because there was also rumors that she got pregnant at 68 and then no child ever came of it.
Yeah, she seems like another person who will just do anything for attention.
Yeah,
but she made up rumors of being pregnant at the age of 68, which would literally be a world record because the oldest pregnancy recorded to date, I think, is a 66-year-old who had twins. She made that up.
Just recently, we talked a couple months ago about the woman from Boy Meets World who was 54 and got pregnant, and she had a miscarriage.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tragic. Well, yeah, Lynn May also exhumed the body of her late husband, brought it home with her, and slept in a bed with the body.
Yeah.
For I don't even know how long. She didn't say, but it turned into a big fight with her mother, who was telling her, like, you can't do this. You need to, you know, put this man to rest.
Yeah, yeah.
So clearly she is kind of disturbed mentally, and perhaps that's why she was drawn to changing her appearance so drastically in the first place. But, you know, I thought this might have been fake news, but the more I looked into it, the more horrified I became. And I think what's even worse than this is the people who don't get like botched just in a one and done procedure. They end up ruining their faces over like gradually, incrementally over time, and then they lose all sense of what they used to look like.
And it's happening earlier and earlier. Remember when he did the video about all of the women who work at like the health and beauty spa who were talking about all their injectables, and they were in their 20s.
There was one who was 23, and I swear it looked like she was 45.
But then there was a lady that was in her 50s who looked like she was in her 30s.
That was the ironic part.
Because she started later.
All of the older women who worked at that you know, so-called medical spa probably started getting injections and fillers and Botox later in life as it became more popular culturally. But all of the young women who worked there started off essentially maybe even before turning 18, which should be illegal, honestly. And it made them look like aliens.
Yep.
Which I can't imagine how you would look in the mirror and think that that looks good, or you just go so far with it that you don't even have a concept of what a human is supposed to look like or what you used to look like.
Well, also, if it happens incrementally, it doesn't really trigger in your brain that what you're looking at has changed as much as it has.
Yeah, and I think there is, I don't know, this might be controversial of me to say, but I think that there's a misconception that men find women with filler and Botox unattractive. And I think that's not totally true. I don't know. What would you say?
I mean, that's a pretty common thing to hear people say. I don't know whether, you know, I don't really think about it in that context.
Like,
when I see top lip that's like this big and it's flat, definitely not.
There are warning signs.
Yeah, and or
I mean, to me, it speaks more.
Like, you know,
it's not even about what it means for them physically. It's that it tells me they're vain, and they care more than they should about their physical appearance. I think you should care about how you look. I think that matters, but I do think that there's a certain level of vanity that goes too far for me personally. It's just not something that I would, you know, want to associate with.
I can understand some Botox, but the whole cutting up of lips and cheeks and everything kind of feels like it's too much.
Yeah, I obviously I think that there are ways to do it that are far less noticeable.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what I mean is, like, I think men find it unattractive when it gets to that extreme point, because that's when you're noticing it. You're not supposed to notice it if it's actually done right. But these doctors, it's, you know, so-called doctors, don't want to tell women when they've gone too far because, you know, they're making a profit off of their insecurities and vanity, as you said.
Like Erin Moriarty, whatever her name is.
Yeah,
you know,
that was one of the worst examples. Yeah. I think she might have gotten that surgery where they removed the fat from her
she did
face.
Buckle fat.
Which is horrifying.
Buckle fat is what it's called?
Yeah, buckle fat removal.
Yeah.
Just makes you look hollow and skeletal.
Yes. And you look like that Eugene Cooney lady.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know what the beauty standard is anymore.
Well, it's because it's that, or you go the other direction. It's like you should be wearing the floral floor-length gown and be trad in some caricaturish way. And it's like, is there not a middle ground here?
Is there a prevailing beauty standard that I guess the West agrees on currently. Because I feel like there's this portion of people that thinks like the super hypersexualized version of a woman is, you know, the pinnacle of attractiveness. And then on the other side, there's this idea that like a woman shouldn't care about her appearance whatsoever. And I feel like we could meet in the middle.
None of it would matter because in the middle doesn't get attention, right? So the prevailing idea that the middle is better is probably true, but it doesn't garner clicks online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
most men are not attracted to or dating women that look like that. They're dating normal looking women, and that's perfect. That's great. That's what it should be.
Women who look like the hypersexualized.
No, most men are dating normal looking women. They're not dating women that look like sex dolls.
But I think that the normal looking women see like who's in his Instagram following list, and they see all of these models who definitely have a lot of cosmetic surgery and injections, and they're like, well, I guess that's what men like these days. I'm gonna go make my appointment. And that's how we end up in a situation like this.
That stuff is going to get pushed either way, right? Like we were talking about this the other day. It's like if you start a new Instagram account, within 10 clicks, that's going to start being the stuff that gets fed to you for most dudes. And the idea is that you have to curate your account so that you're not looking at anything like that. But the regular looking women aren't making content that men look at, right? They're not.
I think the sad thing about this story with Lin May is that she obviously built her career off of her looks. So that had to be her top priority. And, you know, she had all of this success basically because of her sexuality and didn't see anything else of value to retain about herself. And this is the end result.
It was a different conversation going on back when this happened too.
Meaning it was less normalized?
Yeah, it wasn't as normalized. Like it wouldn't have been as public of a debate. She wouldn't have had any idea to push back on it back then because it would have seemed unique to its time.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.